Hey, this is Liam of Multilingual Books, and we're here today with Julie Lucas, founder of the Seattle English School. Welcome.
Thank you.
How was teaching in Saudi Arabia?
In Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Well, I just returned from teaching in Riyadh, which is the capital of Saudi Arabia, and the work was really interesting. I loved teaching. The students were very enthusiastic and willing to learn, very motivated women and men.
Speaking of interesting, what was the most interesting place you taught?
I was very fortunate in that I got to teach at Eli Lilly, which is an American pharmaceutical company in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So I liked it because there were very small classes, and it was one of the first and only classes that were mixed genders in Saudi Arabia. That's not normal. Normally they're men and women. They are separated in the education system at a young age. So since it was an American company, I got to teach men and women together.
What is the best advice you have for language students?
I think they should listen to the language, their target language, before they go to sleep, and let it get in their subconscious while they're sleeping, and think and breathe in the target language, watch movies in the target language, read books in the target language, and just speak and listen as often as possible. Avoid speaking your native language. Immerse yourself in the culture and the environment of the target language.
And do you have any advice for teachers that want to teach in Saudi Arabia?
Advice would be to not expect anything to be done when one would in the Western world, because we have ideas and expectations for things that should be done in a timely manner, and it just doesn't happen there. So I would be prepared for that.
What are your plans next?
I'm thinking about going to Oman and teach in Oman.
Why did you get into teaching?
I want to travel, and I knew that I could travel if I taught English as a second language, and I love teaching.
That's great. Any interesting stories in your time as an ESL teacher?
Well, I think it was interesting when I was teaching at Eli Lilly that the women were covered, so it was really difficult to hear what they had to say because they had to, their whole face was covered, and sometimes they would lift it up just so I could hear them. And also I was very surprised when I was at the university how the young women were dressed very fashionably, and they were very flirtatious. That was interesting. Beautiful women, Saudi women. They take off their abayas at the university and have this, designer clothes, and very happy to learn English and be at the university. So that was interesting.
What was it like living on a compound?
Oh, okay, a compound. Well, I lived on a compound that was only women, and we had 2 guards who protected us that opened and closed the gates, and that was pretty funny because they were very skinny old men. Like if somebody actually threatened them, I don't know what they would do, but it was isolating, but also there was a feeling of being protected in a sense because people can't come in unless they're a woman, and had a great pool. It was a pretty nice place, but not one of the nicer compounds in Riyadh, I would say. And also it was a great location in the city, so whenever I left the compound, it was really easy to catch a taxi. Like I never had to wait more than 5 minutes to catch a taxi. So that was great. That was a positive thing, but I don't know. What would you imagine a compound to be like? When the word compound enters your mind?
I don't know, prison.
Yeah, it's not quite like that because you could you know, I had my own apartment and it had a pool, and it's just there's a wall around it, but it's several apartments, like where about 40 people live. So there's no bars or anything, just a high wall.
Well, she sort of answered the last question. It's
All right.
easy about it.
Anything else you want to say?
Let's see. I recommend going to Saudi Arabia. I think that people should, in the Western world, should open their minds and go to Saudi Arabia when given the opportunity. Check out the Middle East and be open to Islam and the culture there.
Excellent. Thank you.